Stand a little less between me and the sun. The foundation of every state is the education of its youth. What I like to drink most is wine that belongs to others. He has the most who is most content with the least. We have 2 ears and 1 tongue so that we would listen more and talk less. I have nothing to ask but that you would remove to the other side, that you may not, by intercepting the sunshine, take from me that you cannot give. The mob is the mother of tyrants. Modesty is the color of virtue. Of what use is a philosopher who doesn't hurt anybody's feelings? The sun, too, shines into cesspools and is not polluted. The art of being a slave is to rule one's master. The great thieves lead away the little thief. I do not know whether there are gods, but there ought to be. I threw my cup away when I saw a child drinking from his hands at the trough. It takes a wise man to discover a wise man. It was a favorite expression of Theophrastus that time was the most valuable thing that a man could spend. Wise leaders generally have wise counselors because it takes a wise person themselves to distinguish them. As a matter of self-preservation, a man needs good friends or ardent enemies, for the former instruct him and the latter take him to task. In a rich man's house there is no place to spit but his face. There is only a finger's difference between a wise man and a fool. It is the privilege of the gods to want nothing, and of godlike men to want little. Why not whip the teacher when the pupil misbehaves? I know nothing, except the fact of my ignorance. Man is the most intelligent of the animals, and the most silly. When I look upon seamen, men of science and philosophers, man is the wisest of all beings. When I look upon priests and prophets, nothing is as contemptible as man. I am called a dog because I fawn on those who give me anything, I yelp at those who refuse, and I set my teeth in rascals. Dogs and philosophers do the greatest good and get the fewest rewards. I am not an Athenian or a Greek, but a citizen of the world. Calumny is only the noise of madmen. No man is hurt but by himself. Blushing is the color of virtue. Those who have virtue always in their mouths, and neglect it in practice, are like a harp, which emits a sound pleasing to others, while itself is insensible of the music. Most men are within a finger's breadth of being mad. A friend is one soul abiding in 2 bodies. The sun too penetrates into privies, but is not polluted by them. Wise kings generally have wise counselors, and he must be a wise man himself who is capable of distinguishing one. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. God has entrusted me with myself. People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You are a little soul carrying around a corpse. It is impossible to begin to learn that which one thinks one already knows. Nothing great is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a figure. If you tell me that you desire a figure, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. Only the educated are free. When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. Never in any case say I have lost such a thing, but I have returned it. Is your child dead? It is a return. Is your wife dead? It is a return. Are you deprived of your estate? Is not this also a return? Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Imagine for yourself a character, a model personality, whose example you determine to follow, in private as well as in public. No great thing is created suddenly. Keep silence for the most part, and speak only when you must, and then briefly. It takes more than just a good-looking body. You've got to have the heart and soul to go with it. Difficulties are things that show a person what they are. It is not death or pain that is to be dreaded, but the fear of pain or death. If you desire to be good, begin by believing that you are wicked. Do not laugh much or often or unrestrainedly. If thy brother wrongs thee, remember not so much his wrongdoing, but more than ever that he is thy brother. If you seek truth, you will not seek victory by dishonorable means, and if you find truth you will become invincible. We tell lies, yet it is easy to show that lying is immoral. Silence is safer than speech. Practice yourself, for heaven's sake, in little things, and then proceed to greater. If virtue promises happiness, prosperity and peace, then progress in virtue is progress in each of these, for to whatever point the perfection of anything brings us, progress is always an approach toward it. Freedom is the right to live as we wish. No greater thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a figure. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. The two powers which in my opinion constitute a wise man are those of bearing and forbearing. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. No man is free who is not master of himself. It is the nature of the wise to resist pleasures, but the foolish to be a slave to them. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. Know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. All religions must be tolerated. For every man must get to heaven in his own way. The world turns aside to let any man pass who knows where he is going. First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. Be careful to leave your sons well instructed rather than rich, for the hopes of the instructed are better than the wealth of the ignorant. To accuse others, for one's own misfortunes, is a sign of want of education. To accuse oneself shows that one's education has begun. To accuse neither oneself nor others shows that one's education is complete. Is freedom anything else than the right to live as we wish? Nothing else? If evil be spoken of you and it be true, correct yourself; if it be a lie, laugh at it. If one oversteps the bounds of moderation, the greatest pleasures cease to please. Neither should a ship rely on one small anchor, nor should life rest on a single hope. The essence of philosophy is that a man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. All philosophy lies in 2 words: sustain and abstain. It is not he who reviles or strikes you who insults you, but your opinion that these things are insulting. We should not moor a ship with 1 anchor, or our life with 1 hope. Whenever you are angry, be assured that it is not only a present evil, but that you have increased a habit. If you wish to be a writer, write. Do not seek to bring things to pass in accordance with your wishes, but wish for them as they are, and you will find them. Freedom is not procured by a full enjoyment of what is desired, but by controlling the desire. You may be always victorious if you will never enter into any contest where the issue does not wholly depend upon yourself. One that desires to excel should endeavor in those things that are in themselves most excellent. There is nothing good or evil save in the will. Whoever does not regard what he has as most ample wealth, is unhappy, though he be master of the world. Control thy passions lest they take vengeance on thee. We are not to give credit to the many, who say that none ought to be educated but the free, but rather to the philosophers, who say that the well-educated alone are free. Not every difficult and dangerous thing is suitable for training, but only that which is conducive to success in achieving the object of our effort. Unless we place our religion and our treasure in the same thing, religion will always be sacrificed. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Nothing is enough for the man to whom enough is too little. Not what we have but what we enjoy constitutes our abundance. Let no one be slow to seek wisdom when he is young, nor weary in the search of it when he has grown old. For no age is too early or too late for the health of the soul. The art of living well and the art of dying well are one. We must exercise ourselves in the things which bring happiness, since, if that be present, we have everything, and, if that be absent, all our actions are directed toward attaining it. The time when most of you should withdraw into yourself is when you are forced to be in a crowd. Of all the things which wisdom provides to make us entirely happy, much the greatest is the possession of friendship. It is folly for a man to pray to the gods for that which he has the power to obtain by himself. It is better for you to be free of fear lying upon a pallet, than to have a golden couch and a rich table and be full of trouble. Both old and young alike ought to seek wisdom, the former in order that, as age comes over him, he may be young in good things because of the grace of what has been, and the latter in order that, while he is young, he may at the same time be old, because he has no fear of the things which are to come. Justice is a kind of compact not to harm or be harmed. There is no such thing as justice in the abstract, it is merely a compact between men. Death does not concern us, because as long as we exist, death is not here. And when it does come, we no longer exist. It is not so much our friends' help that helps us, as the confidence of their help. I never desired to please the rabble. What pleased them, I did not learn, and what I knew was far removed from their understanding. If God listened to the prayers of men, all men would quickly have perished, for they are forever praying for evil against one another. If thou wilt make a man happy, add not unto his riches but take away from his desires. A free life cannot acquire many possessions, because this is not easy to do without servility to mobs or monarchs. The misfortune of the wise is better than the prosperity of the fool. It is impossible to live a pleasant life without living wisely and well and justly. And it is impossible to live wisely and well and justly without living a pleasant life. It is possible to provide security against other ills, but as far as death is concerned, we men live in a city without walls. Misfortune seldom intrudes upon the wise man, his greatest and highest interests are directed by reason throughout the course of life. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. Good character is not formed in a week or a month. It is created little by little, day by day. Protracted and patient effort is needed to develop good character. If you do not expect the unexpected, you will not find it, for it is not to be reached by search or trail. The sun is new each day. Big results require big ambitions. Nothing endures but change. The way up and the way down are one and the same. God is day and night, winter and summer, war and peace, surfeit and hunger. Our envy always lasts longer than the happiness of those we envy. The hidden harmony is better than the obvious. Eyes and ears are poor witnesses to people if they have uncultured souls. The eyes are more exact witnesses than the ears. Even sleepers are workers and collaborators in what goes on in the universe. Bigotry is the sacred disease. I am what libraries and librarians have made me, with little assistance from a professor of Greek and poets. The chain of wedlock is so heavy that it takes two to carry it, and sometimes three. There is nothing permanent except change. A man's character is his fate. Man is most nearly himself when he achieves the seriousness of a child at play. Much learning does not teach understanding. Character is destiny. You cannot step into the same river twice. Change alone is unchanging. Opposition brings concord. Out of discord comes the fairest harmony. To do the same thing over and over again is not only boredom, it is to be controlled by rather than to control what you do. A man's character is his guardian divinity. Hide our ignorance as we will, an evening of wine soon reveals it. Justice will overtake fabricators of lies and false witnesses. It is hard to contend against one's heart's desire, for whatever it wishes to have it buys at the cost of soul. To God everything is beautiful, good, and just. Humans, however, think some things are unjust and others just. No one that encounters prosperity does not also encounter danger. Nature is wont to hide herself. Men who wish to know about the world must learn about it in its particular details. Couples are wholes and not wholes, what agrees disagrees, the concordant is discordant. From all things one and from one all things.